Hi everyone, we're going to identify domain, vertical, horizontal, and oblique asymptotes, if any, the roots, which are the x-intercepts, y-intercept, and any holes. This doesn't have any holes in it because there's no terms we can cross out. So if I had an x plus 1 here in the numerator, then we would have a hole, but we don't. So we can just go ahead and put NA on the hole. Now, for our domain, we want it to be all real numbers, but we can't divide by 0, so I'm going to go ahead and factor out this one right here. This is 5x minus 2 times 5x plus 2. Then we have x plus 1. And we know this can't equal 0. So when you set all three of these binomials to 0, you're going to get the x, oh, this shouldn't be 4, this should be a 2. Sorry about that. So basically, we know that x cannot be plus or minus 2 over 5. That takes care of both of these. And x cannot be negative 1. So that's your domain. And your vertical asymptote is exactly the same numbers, but that generates vertical asymptotes at x equals plus or minus 2/5 and x equals negative 1. So basically these two always go together. Now the horizontal asymptote is you're looking at your degrees. This would be like x to the 0. So you really have x to the 0, and if you FOILed this out, you'd have x cubed. And if you're looking at your degrees, my degree in the numerator is smaller than my degree in the denominator. So that means I have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. That means if you take a limit here, the denominator gets extremely large, and the numerator actually in this case stays the same, so it gets closer and closer to 0. Now if we have a horizontal, that means we don't have a oblique. You can only have one or the other. And our roots is when you set your numerator to 0, so we let our y be 0 and set your numerator to 0, and that doesn't make sense. So we don't have a root. We have no x-intercept, so that's an NA. And on our y-intercept, you set your x's to 0. So we do f of 0 equals negative 7 over, if you set this to 0, you'll get negative 4. And put a 0 in there, you get 1. So that's going to be 7 over 4. So when x is 0, y is 7 over 4. And that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.